want to bring in foreign policy expert and human rights advocate Hillel Neuer. Last week, all of this has really just exploded, for lack of a better term, with the attention focused back on Israel. The UN adopted a non-binding resolution demanding Israel end its presence in Gaza and the occupied West Bank in 1 year. Israel has rejected it. Hillel, how much weight do those resolutions really carry when Benjamin Netanyahu has made it clear that they won't stop until they feel as though they can really protect Israel?
Well, look, the UN is about to open its annual General Assembly in a few days. This will be a catwalk for dictators. We're going to see the presidents of Turkey, Erdogan, of Islamic Republic of Iran, and other gross human rights abusers pretending to enjoy legitimacy, international legitimacy, abusing the gravitas of the United Nations. And the reality is that when they adopt resolutions that are supposed to be in the name of international law, sadly, these are exploited and actually invert international law. So the latest resolution is non-binding. It has no weight under international law. It's an expression of the fact that there is an automatic majority of dictatorships against Israel. Let's recall, in the last year, China sitting on the UN Human Rights Council. The Islamic Republic of Iran was made chair of the UN Human Rights Council Social Forum. They were made president of the Conference on Disarmament. The other members of the Human Rights Council are Qatar, Algeria, Eritrea, Cuba, the police state. So the UN, for many, has lost moral legitimacy.
Yeah, Hillel, exactly. When you mentioned, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because it's one of those things when we have countries that are proven enemies of Israel, how can they be part of a decision about a binding resolution? It seems to be more pro forma than anything.
Well, absolutely. Look, if you look at the UN officials, the UN created a commission of inquiry targeting Israel. They named Navi Pillay, someone who had already announced in advance that Israel is guilty in any of its wars with Hamas. She called Israel an apartheid state. Their UN has a permanent investigator on Palestine. Her name is Francesca Albanese. She's been condemned by the United States, France, and Germany for spreading anti-Semitism. She has said publicly, America is subjugated by the Jewish lobby. America is subjugated by the Jewish lobby, classical anti-Semitism. The UN named her their permanent investigator against Israel. So this is completely Orwellian justice. They're exploiting the true values of human rights that the UN was founded to uphold.
Okay, Hillel, here's the problem, though. You and I both know people want some kind of resolution, something where there's just a semblance of peace so that there's not this constant pressure and fear of drone attacks or some type of attack coming from, to Israel. What, if anything, can the UN do to help the peace process and help seal a ceasefire?
Well, the UN should begin by understanding the difference between good and evil. There was a time when the UN was founded, it was the anti-Hitler alliance. The founders of the UN were people like Eleanor Roosevelt, who understood what right and wrong meant. Today, we're seeing the opposite. You have two barbaric terrorist groups, Hamas and Hezbollah, who openly endorse sadistic atrocities against civilians. That's why they're named terrorist groups in America, in Europe, and by other countries. The UN is incapable of calling them terrorist groups. So the first thing the UN should do is to name Hamas and Hezbollah as terrorist groups, to understand that they openly call for the extermination of Israel. They say it openly. They call for slaughtering Jews. This is what they're about. The UN has been doing the opposite until they can restore their basic sense of right and wrong, until they can call terrorists and name them for who they are. The UN is never going to be able to restore peace and security. Instead, we're seeing the UN elevating the Islamic regime in Iran, elevating dictatorships like China, Cuba, Russia to high positions at the UN. Look, until democracies call out this abuse, we're never going to make any advances on the international scene.
Foreign policy expert and human rights advocate Hillel Neuer, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.